So I was going to do a post, but since I'm doing live and I podcast now, and I hardly write anything anymore because I'm too fucking lazy. But I'm decent when I want to be, but it's too much effort because I'm lazy. Like I said, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about what I thought about "I Am Not Your Negro." I went and saw it at Belcourt tonight, and I don't know if it was because it was in a live setting and because it was just the atmosphere, but this fucking documentary slash movie, whatever you want to call it, was just wow. It really blew me away. I mean, James Baldwin, I had honestly had not been really up on too much. I mean, I knew who he was up until fairly recently when I heard about the documentary. I started kind of researching him a little bit. And what's funny is they show some clips in the movie, or documentary, whatever, about, it's like some scenes from this debate he did with William F., the pretentious prick-ass Buckley at Cambridge in the 60s. I can't remember exactly what year. But I watched that on YouTube because it's on YouTube. And what's funny in the documentary, they show him talking or making his points, but they never even mention Buckley once, which is fucking awesome to me, to be honest with you, because fuck him. But basically, the beginning kind of lays out the kind of the purpose, I guess, of the movie. It's so he wrote like these 30 pages of notes. He was supposed to write kind of a comparison of, I guess, the lives and the deaths of MLK, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers. And I guess he never got around to finishing it or whatever, but so it kind of, that's kind of the theme of it, but there's also a lot of him just talking about what it's like to be black in America. And some of the shit it's just like, I don't know, I guess it's because maybe he's a writer and kind of this, the pen is mightier than the sword, maybe. And sometimes things that don't get through to us on a practical level, get through to us on maybe a more artistic level, maybe. Maybe we hear things more when it appeals to us on that level than sometimes when we hear it from somebody like Malcolm or MLK, and that's what I think he brings to the table. He brings kind of a more, I don't know, he appeals to the emotions a little bit more, but not in an overbearing, it's hard to say, not in an overbearing way, but kind of he like sneaks in there and manipulates your emotions without you even really knowing it, because he's such a good, I think he's such a very good observer of the human condition and the way people think, that he knows how to say things that really kind of hits you. I mean, that's the way I felt about it anyway. I mean, they showed him on Dick Cavett, and he was talking to him, and then, of course, he did lectures. He recalled this one time where Malcolm X was in the audience and listening, and he was like, he said he stumbled through. I'm sure it was fucking awesome anyway. But, I mean, and this documentary is interspersed with like scenes from modern day, like Ferguson, Missouri was interspersed in there, and then it also showed footage of older stuff like the Watts riots, showed Rodney King. So it was mostly him and back in the 60s, but then it kind of came back a little bit to present day. It also showed other things like this, I didn't even know this existed, to be honest with you. MLK and Malcolm X and James Baldwin are interviewed by this one gentleman, and I can't remember, he was a black gentleman. It was a show that, but Malcolm X was going off on MLK for being, he called him Uncle Tom. Which I thought was, wow, what? When did this happen? But of course you have to realize in the beginning, Malcolm X was hardcore Nation of Islam, and that was before he kind of moved a little bit to the other direction. And he started realizing, of course, if you've seen Malcolm X, you know he went to Mecca and he saw that there were, I mean, I don't know how much that's true, but he saw there were white Muslims too, and he kind of came over a little bit. So, you know, their positions kind of merged by the time they were both killed. So they kind of met in the middle a little bit, but it was shocking to kind of see that kind of attack on him. I guess I shouldn't really be surprised because Malcolm X is pretty hardcore, and who can blame him? That was something else that really hit me about this movie. Um, the way James Baldwin articulated this shit, how eloquent he was in expressing how black people felt in this country, how it felt that they built basically how this country was built on their backs. And there was another thing he was talking. There was so much shit he was talking about. Shit, and I came and recount all of it. And I need to read these books because I'm ashamed to say I haven't read them yet.